So you want to start a money-making blog, but you've got one question. How long is it going to take to actually make money? Because let's be honest, you don't want to spend all of this time, all of this effort, maybe even a little money, only to find out, hey, it's going to take a lot longer than I expected to see a return on my time and my investment. But here's the truth. Making money with a blog or a niche site is not an overnight thing. It takes a lot of work and yes, a lot of time. But the good news is with the right approach, the right mindset, and a long-term vision, you can make it happen. In this video, I'm going to share a timeline with some estimates based on my own experience making money with niche sites on how long it actually takes to make money with your blog or niche site. And just as importantly, what actually goes into making a blog or a niche site that can earn, let's say, $1,000 per month or more. Just real quick, next month, my premium program, Niche Site Academy, opens up for 5 days only. Niche Site Academy teaches you how to grow and scale a niche site from scratch, step by step. So there's a link below this video to sign up for the waitlist to be notified when it opens up. So I've taken multiple niche sites to $10,000 plus per month. So everything in this video is going to be based on firsthand experience. And on average, with a niche site, it can take anywhere from 15 to 18 months to start making 4 figures. So throughout the rest of the video, we're going to break this up into 3-month segments, looking at how much content we should be producing, what kind of page views we can expect, and what kind of income we can expect as well. All right, so let's take a look at the first 3 months of any new niche site. Easily the hardest part here is just getting going. All right, when we're starting from scratch, we're not going to see really any progress at all, at least in the first 3 months. Now, what we can control and what you should focus on is what you can control, and that's the number of posts or articles that you can publish. So in this video, I'm using a pretty aggressive estimate of 15 articles published per month on average, right? That's 1 new article every other day. If you're doing all of that content yourself, I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot of work. Hopefully you can get to the point where you're outsourcing, but 1 article every other day. So you're looking here months 1 through 3. So we're shooting for 40 to 50 well-written, well-keyword researched articles to get up on the site. That's really our focus at the beginning and really throughout the course of any niche site. Now, what kind of traffic can you expect during the first 3 months? I have here about 100 page views per month, maybe at the end of month 3. Well, really, you're not going to be making any money at all. I actually just started a brand new niche site about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago now, just to give you a frame of reference for a new site. We just crossed 50 articles in, again, we're 2.5 months in, and we're getting about 15 page views per day, right? So that's 400 to 500 page views per month, which is decent. But again, these are all averages. A lot of things depend on your niche and your competition and so on and so forth. But the first 3 months, I'm not gonna lie, it's tough going, it's ugly, and there's not a lot of results. All right, let's look at kind of the next bucket here, which are months 4 through 6. You're not going to be making much money, but you should hopefully start to see a little progress in terms of your page views, right? So by the end of month 6, I'd love to see if you're at 1,000 page views per month. That doesn't sound like a lot, and it's really not, but it is good progress. Again, we want to focus on what we control early on in our site, and that's pumping out consistent, high quality, well keyword research, low competition articles, right? If you could have between 80 and 100 really good articles on your site by month 6, you're doing extraordinarily well, right? The page views and the revenue are going to trail behind the number of articles we published, especially in these first 6 months, because Google is just starting to really trust our site, understand what our site is about. We don't have any authority. We're starting to build a little topical authority, but Google just doesn't trust us yet, and so we're not going to see a lot of traffic. But again, if you can shoot for 1,000 page views by the end of month 6, then you're on the right track. All right, months 7 through 9 is where things, we can see a little ray of sunshine, a little hope here by the end of month 9. So I'm saying, if you can have 5,000 page views by the end of month 9, then you're on the right track, right? 5,000 page views per month. It's not going to get us into a premium ad network, but if you're there by month 9, it gives me a sense that we're probably on the right track. Maybe we've chosen the right niche. Our content is good, right? Our strategy overall is good. I'm not really worried about revenue right now, even though I realize that's the name of the game. But even by month 9, if I'm making $100 plus per month, I'm fine with that. I'm more focused on is that page view threshold around 5,000 per month, and of course, focus on the content. 125 to 145 articles by the end of month 9 is great work. And again, that's really what we're focusing on, especially if we can find a low competition niche. All right, months 10 through 12, or the 1 year mark of your niche site. I want to see a couple of, milestones here. Milestone number 1, I'd love it if we're at 20,000 page views by the end of month 12. That might sound a little aggressive, and it might be, but again, with the right niche, the right content strategy, it's definitely doable. And by that amount of page views, I would like to apply to a ad network like Zoic, which you can see here at the bottom. I know Zoic changed their threshold to where I think anyone can apply right now. Personally, I would wait till about 10,000 page views per month, because before that, I don't really think it's worth it. But if you can have a 20,000 page view month by the end of month 12 and you're in a Zoic, you can expect to make about $300 per month in ads. And at that point, we're starting to see progress. I realize it's still not a ton of money, but that might be your car payment, right? So we're starting to make a decent amount of money to where it kind of affects our everyday life. So 20,000 page views by the end of year 1 might be about $300 per month in Zoic. Again, with the articles, 15 articles per month would be amazing. I know it sounds easier looking at it on this screen here. 12 months into the grind, writing 15 articles every month is a lot of work. The other thing I'll note is if you are making $300 by this point, and you don't really need the money that bad, I would think about reinvesting that income or that revenue back into your site in the form of content. Maybe you hire a freelance writer, or you work with a writing agency. Even if it's only $300, that might get you an article or 2, but every little bit helps with the snowball effect. All right, so months 13 through 15, we're trucking along with the articles here. If we could, 215 to 235 articles is a lot, right? That's a lot of good content on the site. Page views, I'm estimating about 30,000 plus per month. We're still in a Zoic at this point, but we're almost at $500 per month. With all of that content, all of that work over a year, it still doesn't sound like a lot, but that's really how it works with Google and the growth, where it kind of just starts to take off really from this point. But this is what I would like to see for my own sites by month 15. 30,000 page views, $450 to $500 per month in a Zoic. All right, months 16 through 18 is really where everything begins to really explode from here. In my opinion, from month 18 is when Google starts to fully trust your site, and it can only go up from here, assuming you're doing everything the right way. So I have 260 to 280 articles, which is amazing, right? If you're at month 18 with over 250 articles, you've done a phenomenal job. Page views, I'm putting us at 50,000 page views or sessions per month, which I know Mediavine is sessions, should get us into that Mediavine territory, right? And if we can get our site into Mediavine, our RPM is going to go up from a Zoic, most likely. So I have us at $1,500 per month just in ad revenue. All of the examples I've been talking about are just ad revenue, right? So we're working with I'm guessing a $30 RPM for Mediavine with 50,000 page views gets us to $1,500 per month with Mediavine, and we're not even including any affiliate marketing income here in this example. Now, the great thing about if we can get to this point, maybe we start to keep some of that revenue for ourselves, but the more that you can reinvest back into your content, the more you'll be able to grow, and the more you'll be able to scale your site. So that's kind of my very rough estimate in terms of an 18-month timeline. The great news, as I mentioned, after that 18 months, that's when you start to see the explosive growth. So you're going from $1,500 months to maybe a $5,000 month the next month, and maybe a $10,000 per month 4 months after that, right? The growth does not continue on that slow pace. It gets much more explosive in terms of SEO traffic about after that 18-month mark. Now, again, this is a very broad estimate. There are so many different factors, and this assumes a couple of things. Number one, you picked a good niche. And when I mean good niche, I basically mean two different things. One, there's search demand, or there's enough people interested in your niche to sustain that level of traffic and more. And number two is that there's not a ton of SEO competition, right? Picking a niche that's too competitive is by far the number one reason I see people not have success with their niche sites. So we want to get a medium to low competition niche that has, or that can sustain enough traffic to get into Mediavine or AdThrive. The other thing that I already touched on is content, right? Writing 200 articles or 250 plus articles is a lot of work. Even over a year plus, it's a grind, right? It might seem fun or easy at the beginning for your first 5 or 10 articles, but then it starts to become a little bit of a grind, especially when you're not seeing progress, right? And that's where most people give up, in that kind of month 1 to 3, or maybe even 4 to 6 range, when they're doing the work and not seeing the results. I will say it's totally okay to take a break when you're writing your content. I've done that with one of my sites where I took like 3 months off, and Google's not really going to penalize you. You know, if you're writing evergreen content, you should be fine. So if you need to take a break with the content game, that makes sense. The other thing, again, I would be reinvesting every dollar from my site back into content, outsourcing content, working with a freelance writer, working with a writing agency. That's how I run all of my sites. I'm not writing any of the content. It's all outsourced because that's the best way to grow. So I think the niche site game has changed a little bit going forward. It really is a content play. And what I mean by that is the volume of content. To really see success with a niche site, you have got to be committed over the long term and committed to investing your time and or your money into your site. It used to be that people started niche sites and they thought they could write like 20 articles in 6 months, and then they would wonder, why am I not getting any traffic? Why am I not making any money? I don't know if they thought it was easier than it actually is, but honestly, going forward, starting a niche site is like starting any other online business. I always liken it to starting a YouTube channel. You're not going to see success on YouTube in 3 months if you only have 10 videos, right? YouTube is a year plus long game, consistently posting a new video at least every week. And even at that year point, you're probably not going to be making a lot of money. But over time, if you consistently produce good content, you should see success with YouTube. And it's the same thing for a niche site. It's not a get rich quick scheme here. It's over a long period of time with a lot of content. And so again, I'm reopening the doors to my niche site academy next month. We're changing things up a little bit. I am looking for students who are committed for a year plus in this program, to put in the work, to invest a little money into their site, and who are serious about getting their site to 4 figures per month. So there will be more kind of information about this in the coming weeks, but I'm kind of changing up the target audience for this course. You know, I kind of want fewer students who are more serious about this whole niche site thing, because it can work. You can make a decent side income, but it is a serious business. All right, if you enjoyed that video, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. In your experience, what does your timeline look like in terms of page views, traffic, revenue, number of posts, growing your blog or niche site?